Alright, the light is finally blue, so we're all charged up, ready for a review. Alright guys, so as you saw there from the little intro, just charged this baby back up, and it's time to do a video talking about it a little bit. This is one of ThruNight's newer models. This is the Neutron 2C V3, so it's the third version of this flashlight, and this particular one is in a cool white, alright, as opposed to the neutral white. This has a pretty unique UI or user interface in that this has ramping, which is integrated into this light, which I am a huge fan of. I love a ramping mode. A lot of times they'll call it an infinity mode. Different companies will say an infinity mode. It's not literally infinity different levels, but what it means is that instead of certain presets of light output, you hold the button down in this particular case and it slowly gets brighter and brighter or slowly gets dimmer and dimmer. So they just have an undisclosed amount of light levels. You know, maybe there's literally 50 or 70 different light levels, but it's ridiculous to name them all and put outputs and runtimes and stuff like that. You can't really keep track of that. So they call it infinity mode, but I know it as a ramping function. So first off, this light came with the battery, as pretty much all ThruNight lights do. This one happens to be a 3400 milliamp hour battery. All right, single 18650. And this particular model is rechargeable, which is on the back here. This is a little port. Comes with the USB cable, okay, which you saw. I just happen to use a wall outlet plug that has a USB port in there, so I charge it up. This one, I don't know how dead it was. It wouldn't go into turbo mode, basically. The little button on the front, which is nice because when you turn it on, it turns blue. But when the battery's dying or you have a low power situation, it flashes red. So I was getting it flashing red. I just charged it for about, I want to say a little over 2 hours or so, and just happened to look over it and notice that it was blue. So we're done charging. Yeah, so there's the cable that comes with it. I haven't used this particular sheath for this flashlight, but again, it looks like they changed the design a little bit. There's more of I don't know, I guess kind of a padded feel to this. The piping on here is a little bit more padded. The material seems a little bit thicker. All right, a little bit silkier. Pretty nice. Again, I don't always use the sheath on my flashlights. Just kind of depends on what I'm carrying. But yeah, I mean, I always like the fact that they have the D-ring on here. And of course, you can put your belt through there if you wanted to. It's a nice little setup. If you do happen to use the sheath for your flashlights, it is definitely a better quality one, you know, for all the different flashlights that are out there. All the ones, I should say non-US made flashlights, they all come with cheap cheese usually, but ThruNight happens to have some of the best ones. So besides that, there is also a pocket clip. You can see this pocket clip rides a lot higher on the flashlight, which is nice. A lot of times this pocket clip starts down here, like towards the middle, and goes down in all different flashlights, not just ThruNight. But I do like that this would be what I'd consider, as far as the knife people out there may understand this, but it's kind of the deep carry conceal clip. You know what I mean? It's the clip that's right on the end, so you don't have a whole lot of gear showing. Most times if you clip your flashlight to your pocket, you have like this much hanging out. And not only can that bump on things and, you know, ruin the finish on your flashlight, but may fall out if it gets caught on something, and you may just not want people to know you have a flashlight for whatever reason that is. So I do like the fact that this is way high up on the light. I think one of the biggest reasons they could do this is because there's no tail clicky on this, okay? All of our action is happening with our side mounted button, which is metal, which is nice, and as I showed before, has the little battery indicator LED, which is super cool. All right, so as far as the different light outputs and modes here, there is a Firefly mode, which is like a half a lumen and it lasts, I think, 49 or 50 days, something crazy like that. And yes, I will do a video soon trying that out because I'm very curious to see if it really lasts that long. We will see. But anyway, to get to the Firefly mode, you're basically from the off position going to push and hold the button down. And there it is, your half a lumen, which lasts forever. Okay, so then the next set of modes, because again, it's the ramping feature, so low to high, starts out at 12 lumens on the low, and it ramps progressively up, all the way up to 650 lumens on high. And how to do that, basically click it once to turn on the flashlight, and that's the low. It should be in low anyway right now, which again is the 12 lumens. So if I push and hold down, oh no, actually it wasn't all the way down. So now that it double blinked, we know it's all the way down at the 12 lumens. So again, push and hold. it'll ramp all the way back up. It'll get as bright as 650 lumens. And then it should blink again to show you that you're maxed out. So that's our high, okay? Push it again to go all the way down. At any point in time, you can stop. If you like that light level, you can stop. And each time you push it, it'll go one way or the other way, right? So I hold it, it's gonna go up. I let go, I hold it, it's gonna go down. All right, hold it, it's gonna go back up. And you go back and forth. And again, just stop at any point you want. And it'll hold that memory. And then of course, again, once it blinks, you know you're all the way down or all the way up. So to get to your turbo mode, which is the highest output, from the off position, just double click. There you go. There's that blasting 1100 lumens. And from here, it's actually pretty warm on my hand. Now there is a strobe mode in here, all right? It's a little bit more difficult to access. It's not a big deal, whatever, but I think under stress you may forget how to do it. That's why it's good to familiarize yourself with whatever flashlight you have. But I am very happy they did still keep a strobe mode in here because, you know, I've talked about this multiple times in the past, but I am a huge fan of strobe mode for a non-lethal defensive option. If it's a low light situation or it's nighttime, whatever, could be a person, could be an animal, could be someone walking their dog and the dog gets aggressive towards you, you may not want to hurt that dog and you might not be able to get away, so you can use strobe to kind of distract it or, you know, at least have it so it can't see you. You know what I mean? So it can be a very effective non-lethal defense option. So I do like them in my flashlights. Okay, so 4 clicks in a row. So basically we're gonna go click, click, and it's gonna go right into the turbo, but we're not gonna stop. We're gonna go click, click again, and it'll go into the strobe, okay? So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's your strobe. It is a single wavelength, so it's just the same pulsing, you know, up, 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 up. Some flashlights have interchanging, you know, pulses, which I actually prefer, just because after a little while, you know, your eyes could start to adjust to the strobe mode. But yeah, I am happy it's there. Not the easiest to get to. I like flashlights that have dedicated strobe button. You know what I mean? So you're using your light or whatever. In an emergency situation, you know, that separate button, you just push that and that's it, it's strobe. But it is there. So yeah, the benefits to this one, I think, the fact that it's 1100 lumens, again, that's anything over 1000 lumens to me is amazing. Especially just on a single 18650. It's amazing how technology constantly advances. Doesn't matter how on top of flashlights you are, there's always something bigger and better and cheaper, you know, right around the road. So just like I said, this technology would probably be $300–400, you know, years back. So another big feature for this flashlight is the battery source. Okay, of course you get this 3400 milliamp hour 18650. However, if you notice on the body, this actually comes apart, and the center tube is removable. So you can go ahead and put this back together and have a shorter light. Now in this configuration, this will accept CR123s. On their website, they also say 18350s. 18350s are about the same size as a CR123. Essentially, it's the same, but there's a different energy, you know, output. From what I understand, I don't know. I've never used 18350s, but I just know them as CR123s. And also, they list 16340s. Also confusing, but essentially, from my understanding, a 16340 is a CR123A, which a lot of you guys know is a rechargeable CR123. So 18650s or CR123s, both, you know, the standard ones and the CR123A rechargeable ones. So that's super cool too. Obviously having a variety of different sizes and battery options. Some people might like the smaller profile of using the CR123 or alike. But of course for me, to have the most output, the most run times, I don't mind having the little bit longer body here and just sticking with the 18650s. So that's probably how I will continue to use this light. All right, so let's discuss the price, which is very important, as well as kind of the key features. What are you really paying for? Because all flashlights turn on and let you see in the dark, right? So why would you get this one over something else? I think the key features here, number one is the rechargeable port. That's really nice. It's a very simple bonus. You don't have to take the battery out. You don't have to have a separate dedicated charger. Right? Obviously, it comes with the cable. So, you know, if you don't have different 18650s and, you know, obviously a dedicated charger already for it, it's a simple package. It makes it nice for gift giving. If you're giving a, you know, higher end flashlight to someone as a present, you don't want to give them the chore of having to buy more batteries and battery chargers. So that, I think, is a key feature. But obviously with this particular model, the big deal with this one is the ramping function from 12 to 650 lumens. Super, super cool. I definitely think that appeals more to a gearhead and a flashaholic as opposed to the common person. The average person, they don't care about this stuff. And some of you guys know that, because some of you guys kind of like flashlights, but don't, like, you maybe see how they can be beneficial as part of an EDC, but you don't get really into different modes and functions and stuff. You basically want the brightest light you could possibly get for your money. That being said, 1100 lumens is pretty darn bright for 50 bucks. That alone, I think, would probably justify the price, but the fact that you have these other features, I always like the fact that we have an LED indicator in our button to let us know when the battery's dying, because I honestly did not know the battery was dying until I saw that it was red, and that's when I charged it. And when it was red, I did kind of go between the high mode in the ramping function, so the 650, which is our high, and then kind of double clicked it and looked at the difference between high and turbo, and it looked the same. And I don't know if that's because the little computer within didn't allow it to go into turbo mode because of the low power. I'm not really sure, but they look the same. But again, that was kind of an indicator that it might need some juice, and then the red light there just, you know, let me know for sure. So I do like that feature a lot. The fact that it comes with a battery is always nice. There's a few flashlights out there that don't come with batteries, but it is a huge bummer, especially, again, when you're talking about gift giving or if you're new to flashlights. For someone who has a bunch of batteries and, like I said, chargers and a slew of different lights, it doesn't make a difference. But for someone who's just getting into the idea of maybe carrying a flashlight or buying one for their car or their bag just to be prepared, they don't have anything. So to have everything all in one little package for 50 bucks, I think it's worth it. I really do like the features on this particular light because I'm a gearhead. I tend to like a lot of the through night lights, like kind of like 4.7s. I like a lot of 4.7s. I like a lot of Nitecors. I don't like all flashlights from all companies, but I have to say, thus far, of all the different kind of EDC sized lights from through night, this is probably one of my favorite. I do love the ramping function the most. The charging port is just kind of a bonus for me, but because I happen to already have the other equipment to charge, you know, the batteries. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Obviously, you guys make your own choice of whether it's going to work for you and your system, and you know, if it's something that you're interested in. It's kind of hard with flashlights because it's just such a large market. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of different, you know, quote unquote tactical flashlights, and they range anywhere from 10 bucks to 100 bucks, you know, and obviously more. But most flashlights that cost more than, say, 80 or 90 bucks, then you're getting into, like, you know, specialty type flashlights and like crazy 2,000, 3,000 lumen outputs, you know. But just for a simple daily light, but, you know, a quality flashlight, I think this is it. I do like it, but the only reason you would pick this over some other light is if you like this specific, you know, user interface. And it could be complicated for people. That could be a negative. Like I said, for the average person, this is not going to interest them any more than a mag light. They want to turn it on and shut it off. The fact that they have to do all these different things, that could very much be a negative to someone. But, you know, people who watch my videos tend to be kind of gearheads, and they kind of get this and they prefer this type of stuff. So could be a positive, could be a negative. Just depends on how you look at it. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Take care.